Nigeria. Have you heard of Nigerian folk tales before? Hmm? Do you know any folk tale? Okay. Good morning, class.
Good morning.
So today we are going to look at types of prose, and we are focusing on African folk tales. By the end of this class, we will tell some folk tales, probably the ones you are very familiar with. When we talk of folk tales, you know that almost, let me say, almost about 85% of Nigerian folk tales revolves around who? The tortoise, right? Excuse. Okay, okay. I print to you already. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, as I was saying, almost all African folk tales revolves around who? The tortoise. So today we will look at some of these African folk tales. But first of all, we ask ourselves, what is a folk tale? Those of you in the city here, you may not actually know what folktale is all about, but those in the village, most time, like when we were small, in the night like this, our grandparents will call us, they will gather us, and they start telling us stories about animals. These are types of folk tales. So it was those times they will tell us that tortoise is a very funny animal. Tortoise did this, tortoise did that. So folk tales are passed from one generation to another. Folk tales are stories passed from one generation to another, often told by grandparents during moonlight. Trust me, the best time to tell folk tale and enjoy it is during moonlight. Those people in the village, the children brought up in the village, they have advantage when it comes to this, because their grandparents will gather them, they will tell them folk tales. There is this popular African folk tale, the tortoise and other animals. Do you know that folk tale? Do you know the story where the tortoise claimed that his name is all of us? Do you know about that story? So the tortoise say, my name is all of us. So for those of you that don't know about the story, let me tell you the story. There was a time in the animal kingdom, okay? So the animals decided that they are going to go for an occasion. They were invited for an occasion. And when they were invited for an occasion, the tortoise, being a very cunning animal, do you know what he did? He told the other animal that they are going to give themselves names apart from their original name. They said they are going to give themselves names. So everybody was like, my name is this, my name is that, my name is this. Do you know what tortoise said? Tortoise said, my name is all of you. Do you understand? My name is all of you. So when they get to that occasion, the celebrant, the host, brought out foods. The host brought out items, delicious foods and drinks. And when he brought out the items, he said the food, he said, all of you should eat this. And tortoise was very happy. He said, yes, this food is meant for me alone, because the celebrant said that this food is for all of you. So the other animal gone. True, true. His name is what? All of you. And the celebrant said the food is for all of you. So only tortoise eats to his satisfaction. Listen very well, because I'm going to ask you the moral lesson you pick from this story. There thing, when tortoise have eaten to stupor, then it's time to go back home. The celebration was over, the party was over. So remember, for them to go to that occasion, the bird borrowed tortoise his feeder, and now they want to go back. and without the feeder, the tortoise cannot fly. So the bird, first of all, collected his feeder from. When he did that, the tortoise was begging them. He said, please do this one thing for me. Tell my wife to bring mattress and a soft foam. Put it where I will land, so that when I land, I will have a safe landing, so that he's not going to injure himself. And you know what? All the animals agreed. They were so excited that they were just expressing a kind of, we are happy, we will do it, don't worry. And they left him there. When they get to his wife, they told the wife that your husband tortoise said that you should gather stones, any sharp object your hand can lay on. Gather it, put it where he will land, that he want to test his muscles, he want to test his strength. And this woman ignorantly did as other animals have advised her to do. And when she set those sharp objects, what happened? Tortoise landed and his shells cracked. And story has it that that is the reason tortoise has cracked shell. Did you enjoy the story? Fine. There is a moral lesson to pick from that story, true or false. And what are the moral lessons? You don't need to be greedy. Good. You.
Do not take everything to yourself.
Don't take everything to yourself. Did you learn another thing? Selfish. You don't need to be selfish. Of course, tortoise was selfish. He displayed an act of selfishness by saying, because my name, of course, you know he's a very cunning animal. He knows that definitely when the host will bring food, that he will definitely say that the food is for all of you. That was why he cunningly said that his name is all of you. He named himself all of you. And when the celebrant food, he now said, the celebrant said, this food belongs to all of you, therefore the food is mine. But at the end of it, even when he ate to stupor, he could not still say, okay, other animals, okay, since I am satisfied, you can eat. He went ahead and finished everything. Now, let's look at purpose or functions of folktale. Our forefathers used folktale to entertain themselves and the younger generation after a hard day work, just as what we are doing. Our forefathers used folktales to entertain themselves. This is to say that folktale aims at entertaining people. I have entertained you now by telling you these folktales, right? As I'm telling you, you are laughing. I've created amusement. You are laughing, you are smiling. I am entertaining you. That is one of the functions of folktale. Imagine after a long day work, when you are tired, you come back home and your grandparents will gather you. Those days when we were small, as I told you earlier, most times during moonlight, it will be our grandparents will gather us under a tree, then in the compound, and they'll be telling us about different animals, how they behave, and stories about animal kingdom. So they are entertaining us, and at the same time we are learning from those stories, just as we learn from this particular one. Folktales were also used to keep record of the history of their communities and to teach morals to the younger ones. Of course, this particular one now, it has moral lessons, right? So every folktale has moral lesson. They teach moral lesson. Now you have learned that greediness is not good. Selfishness is not good, right? So other folk tales also aim at teaching you a moral lesson. Features of folktale. Now let's look at features. When we talk about features, what does it mean? When you say feature of, so like you now, what is that your name? Princess. When we say feature of princess, we are actually saying what are the qualities of princess? What are those things that make princess unique or different from other people? What are those attributes? In fact, a synonym for feature is attributes. Attributes of something, features of something, qualities of something, something someone or something has that makes you different or unique from other things. Understand? So features of folktales are those things that you can use to recognize that this thing is a folktale. Number one is didactic. What is the didactic meaning of folktale? Folktale is didactic, means that it teaches moral lesson. As I have explained earlier in the function of folktale, one of the features or functions of folktale is that it aims at teaching moral lessons. Then another feature of folktale is entertainment, as I have stated earlier. Every folktale aimed at entertaining people. It creates amusement. It makes people to laugh. In fact, there are songs you'll be listening, you will laugh away your sorrows because the stories are so entertaining, they are so funny. Sometimes you will just be imagining how could this thing happen. Then the last but not the least is magical. The magical nature of folktales simply means that folktales presents impossible things to look possible. Let's take example from the story I just told you about the tortoise and other animals. Looking at this from this perspective, can a tortoise talk? Eh? Can a tortoise talk? Now, that is where the magical feature of folktales comes in. An animal cannot talk, yet we were told that they were communicating, with one another. Do you understand? That is the magical feature of folktale. There is another folktale that I know. That one, they said, is the same tortoise being a cunning animal. When others went to work, tortoise did not join them. So I was now imagine cobwebs digging soil. Imagine lizard walking. Imagine goat talking. Imagine dog talking. Do you understand? So these are the magical features of folktales, making impossibilities to look a kind of possible. So they are magical features of folktale. Then you say the characters in folktales can do things that seem impossible in real life. Yes, and the truth is that in most folktales the characters are animals. Now that brings us to what character is all about. First of all, after watching a movie, most times you will see something like cast, right? Who are the cast? The people that acted the movie, right? So when we are talking about characters here, we are referring to all the people that were involved in a particular folk tale, all the people that were involved in the story. For instance, the story, the folk tale I just told you about. When we talk of the characters there, we have the tortoise there and other animals. Now, do you know that characters is not just about human beings? A character can be an animal. A character can be a human being. And believe you me, even a tree can be a character, provided that that tree played a role in that particular work of art. It becomes a character. Let me give you a typical example. You are watching a Nollywood now, a Nollywood movie. Now, On a particular scene, you see they show you a place where a deity, or maybe the mouth of the gods, all those people that consult the gods, and you see in the shrine, you see a particular tree designed. You don't call it design in literature, you call it costume. Whatever that is used to make a particular thing or someone look like what it is representing or portraying, that thing is known as what? A costume. Okay, now a particular tree has been costumed to look like a god or a goddess. That tree has automatically become a character because it is part and parcel of that particular movie. So when we talk of characters in a work of art, either in a movie, in a literature, in a novel, is not just about human beings. Animals can be a character, trees can be a character, inanimate objects can be a character. Is that okay? And I established the fact that a costume is whatever material that you are using in order to make a character portray that thing, that role you want him or her to portray. For instance, do you know that I can comfortably act like a secondary school student? How will I achieve that? They will costume me. With costumes, is very achievable. Once I wear a secondary school uniform now, I am already, and I will lose this hair, probably with my hair. I have automatically become a secondary school student. So that is what costume does. Costume will help a character to look like that role he or she want to perform. Then examples of African folk tales. This is where your home activity will come in. In this example, first of all, I have told you about the tortoise and other animals. There is this one, the corny tortoise. There are other examples. There are a lot of African folk tales. Well, as you go on, probably in your JS, no, this is JS2. In this JS2, probably second term or even by the end of this third term, you might also come across non-African folk tales, because in your junior WAEC, sometimes they don't ask you of the African folk tales. In most cases, in your OBJ objective questions, they will give you list of folktales and ask you which of these is an African folktale, which of these is a non-African folktale. So you should be able to differentiate between African and non-African folktales. So having said that, I'll give you a home activity. And what is that? You're going to go home, write one African, in fact, not just an African folk, a Nigerian folk tale. Write a Nigerian folk tale, and you will submit it by Monday. You submit it by Monday. Write one Nigerian folk tale. Make the story to be as interesting as the one as I told you. Now, listen. When I ask you to write, let me tell you, there is something called imaginative writing. Anytime you are given anything to write, don't just tell yourself, oh, I don't know any story to tell. You can actually coin a story, and that is what is called imaginative or creative writing. And trust me, by the time you imagine story, you create a story, you write it, then you'll be very good at writing. And how do you achieve that? Just have a mental picture of what you want to say. Okay, this is what I want to say. Now, how do I start it? By the time you write down the points, this is how I want the story to look like. This is the kind of story I want to tell. Even this one I told you, is it not somebody that fabricated the story? It never happened. It is called fiction. It's a story that never happened, but it is presented as if it is a real life story. Most of the movies you are watching, they are all work of fiction, although some of them has happened somewhere, but provided that the characters you are seeing in that movie are not the original people it happened to, that make it a fiction. So you too can create a fiction. You can imagine a story. Like there was a time I told some of my students, I don't know the class, I think maybe those in SS1 now, when I told them about creative writing. So I told them a story of an accident I witnessed. And believe you me, I never witnessed any accident. But the way I presented that accident scene, you will think it is a real life story. And at the end of the class, I told them, wow, it's just a fiction. And they were amazed. Yes, that is what fiction does. You present the story as if it is real. So in this folk tale I have asked you to write, you can actually coin up a story, make it fictitious, yet it will be sounding real. Is that okay? Did you understood what I asked you to do?
Yes.
Do you have any question? Are you sure? If you don't have any question, then I'll see you in my next class. But before then, I'll ask you my own question.
Is it just only we write the story?
Yes, you will write the story, and when I come on Monday, you will stand here and tell us the story, just the way I told you mine. So you should write a story you will be for, because when you be telling the story, you will, when I was telling you mine, was I using book? No. If you are using your book to tell the story, then it will not be interesting. Write a story, get familiar with that story you have written, then by Monday you will stand here to tell us your own story, and it should be a folk tale. Since you don't have a question, let me ask you. Hey, without looking at the board, everybody close your eye. Close your eye. Don't look at the board. Close your eye. The filter, number one, princess. Number one,
Number one.
didactic. And you, what is that? Your Chiamaka. What is the meaning of the didactic feature of folktale? What does that mean?
It means like
Didactic feature of folktale means it teaches moral lesson. Oya, sit down. You, what is that your name? Comfort. Don't open your eye. Don't look at the board. Stand up, but don't look at the board. When you say that folktale is magical, what does that mean? Folktale is magical. What does that mean?
it means when something is not real in life.
You have an idea, but you don't know how to put it. When you say that folktale is magical, it actually means that they do the characters in folktale does things, impossible things, as if they are possible. They make impossible things that look real and possible. Then Victoria, tell us another feature of folktale. Tell us another feature of folktale. Of the features I hear you, princess.
Entertainment.
Entertainment, good. And Victor, how does folktale entertain the people? How does folktale entertain us? Chiamaka.
Making you laugh.
It makes you laugh. It creates amusement. It makes people to laugh. Folktale will make you to laugh. Sit down. So we have come to the end of today's lesson. I will see you again by Monday. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you.